I promised I'm not gonna do this, and I'm not gonna cry so much, but it's so hard. I can't believe that I have to go back home. Who gets a chance to come to the US to work on a comedy show and then gets booked by the Kennedy Center? And at the same time, a global health crisis happens.
So this white man here is John Harvard. And this shoe might be the dirtiest, most unsanitary corner of the United States. Why? Everyone come here, they touch it, they rub, they're like, oh, I want my kids to go to Harvard. You don't want your kids to go to Harvard. It's just like a name. They can go to any other university and it will be fine. Okay, I got it out of my system. Everyone running around with their books, going to their classes, and I'm going to write comedy. When I tell people, yeah, I'm writing comedy at Harvard, they're like, what? And then I have to explain. I was at the UN, I was trying to make peace, and then I couldn't do it. So now I'm doing it through comedy.
Noam Shuster.
نعم شوستر.
نعم شوستر. أنا هلا صار عمري 32 وأنا لسه مش متجوزة. قالوا لي خلص بهمش يهودي مش يهودي جيبي أي حدا. بديش أجيب بس أي حدا، بدي أطلع لفوق. وبتعرفي يا شام مين بشوف لما بطلع لفوق؟ MBS. MBS. مرحبا.
I went to sleep anonymous. I woke up the next day, my phone was exploding all over the Arab media. Zionist proposes marriage to Mohammed bin Salman.
First Jewish comedian ever come to the stage here at the 1001 Laughs Comedy Festival. So please help me welcome to, I gave her Arabic name, please help me welcome to the stage, Noam Shuster.
Good evening, everyone. It's your lucky night. The Mossad is here to record you. Just kidding. My name is Noam. White liberals can't pronounce my name, so they call me Chomsky. My last name is Schuster, so I have a name of a Jewish European professor from MIT in a body of a Persian Wonder Woman. My parents are considered traitors. They're left-wing liberals. So they raised me in a mixed community where Jews and Palestinians live together. My best friend Ranin, she's a Palestinian. She looks like Gigi Hadid. I look like Ahmadinejad next to her. When we cross checkpoints, the soldiers, they stop our car, they hit on her, and they look at me and they're like, give me your ID, please.
I found letters that my father received to the military detention when he refused to serve in the occupied Palestinian territories. I brought it with me here because I have this feeling like it's going to make it into my show. And these are like the first memories I have from my dad. Just me and my mom kind of alone in the house and my father in prison. And I remember asking all the time questions like, where is dad? Where is dad? This is the first uprising. This is the first intifada.
There's a very different outlook on those that are questioning the system. And that was a point where we could still turn things back. Today it's much, much, much harder. So I'm making, basically I think what I've been eating my whole life. Persian Jews call it gondi. This is the food that my grandma and now my mom, like we eat this pretty much every week, all the time. I'm adding a few more healthy things to it. Don't tell my ancestors, I'm changing the recipe. The first show I ever had was in English. And that show was so incredible and amazing, and people were listening to me in such a different way than I was used to. I love performing in Hebrew also, but there's something about Israeli audiences that sometimes I feel very anxious about. And in a way, saying it out loud kind of breaks my heart, because from the beginning I kind of know that I'm not going to have a lot of space among my own community or even in Hebrew, like it's going to be limited because of who I am, because of my messages. Maybe I'm wrong, but I hope I'm wrong. But this is the kind of feeling that I have.
So we have a couple of building blocks of your show, right? So one big building block is like who your parents are. And then the next building block, Neve Shalom,
Leftist
right?
parents, Neve Shalom. Yeah.
Neve Shalom, and like then you have a series of little vignettes within Neve Shalom. And then eventually through this, I went to the UN.
I was advocating to work more and more with those sections of society that are usually not spoken to.
Yeah.
That are like spoilers of future peace agreements. Right. So there was a pushback.
From who?
From the UN.
Yeah.
They didn't want to fund it. They didn't want to be part of it. It was too risky for them. And I told them, so who needs to work with those extreme Israelis? Who? The Palestinians? That's their responsibility?
And it ruptured my belief that there was like a traditional avenue to do peace work through. And it led me to start making jokes on Arabic TV about MBS. Like, and now here I am. You know what I mean? Like, this rupture led you to that.
Yeah. Getting ready to perform for the Harvard Hillel chapter. Woo! American Jews. It's my biggest responsibility to speak to my people. They're coming from a place where I believe they have more to learn. They can do better. They need to be part of the change. Palestinians know the things that I'm saying. They don't come from an ignorant perspective. The oppressed doesn't come from an ignorant perspective, never. I'm not telling them anything new, but the Jewish audience is where we have to work. Hello, hi, shalom, my name. I have diverse audiences following me everywhere. I have already an Iranian here. Any Palestinians showed up tonight? Woo! Security! I'm gonna be here like 70 minutes, not 70 years, relax. So my parents, when I was 7 years old, they decided to raise me in the only coexistence community in Israel. And 2 years ago, a big fire broke. And so a lot of security forces and firefighters, which I like, rushed to the community, and they tried to evacuate all the Jews and all the Arabs from their houses. But my Palestinian neighbors, no one moved from their houses. And the firefighters were like, you have to evacuate your homes immediately. And Yusuf is, I am not leaving my house. And the firefighters go, Yusuf, you will be able to come back. And Yusuf is like, that's what you told me in 1948, I'm not leaving my house.
It was a good show considering everything. I was surprised that they actually let you in, because they would never like bring activists from Jewish Voice for Peace, right? But they did bring you. Even though your views are more progressive than a lot of people I know. And still, it's interesting. she got an invitation because she's an artist, because she's doing something that's more approachable to them.
Well, that's what's radical about using cultural work.
Yeah.
You know, she gets to use comedy and art to get in the door when you wouldn't otherwise be able to get in the door, you know?
What she did yesterday wasn't part of her revolving career as a comedian. It was just straightforward activism. What she did yesterday, cultural activism.
I'm gonna go to New York to perform at the famous 30 Rock. Ooh. It's my first time doing comedy in LA! Hollywood Improv, Laugh Factory, Soundcheck, and the Kennedy Center. Good luck, Noam, I love you. Find us, we'll see you again. Another one. Palestinians in the audience were like, Noam, we can't believe that we're here to see an Israeli comedian. And I was like, oh my God.
The World Health Organization officially declared it a pandemic.
New cases are surfacing in new places every day, with at least 98 countries and territories now reporting infections.
Carnegie, the Phil, and the Met just closed. I think Broadway will be closed by the end of the day, too.
My inbox is a festival of cancellations, and I have no idea what to do at Harvard in an empty campus with like no one around, literally no one is around. I think I've come to terms that I should leave Cambridge and go home. This is it. My empty room. Everything is packed. לא אמורה לגעת בפנים. איך אני אנגב את הדמעות? עם המרפק? אני לא מגיע עם המרפק. בכלל אפשר לה... הנתן ריקה. ריקה. אין אדם בחוץ. איזה הזיה. הרגשה שהמופע של טרומן או משהו. מישהו עוד שנייה יצא ויגיד אופס, לא להשתיים. הלו, יש פה מישהו? יש פה מישהו? אני מקווה שיש טייס במטוס. זהו, אני מתחילה לקלוט שאני תכף עולה למטוס, ומשם זהו, כאילו אני נכנסת לבידוד, ואנחנו לא יודעים בכלל מתי אנחנו הולכים לצאת מזה. די לגוע בפנים, אוף.
טוב, זהו, ממריאים. בשל מחסור במסכות פנים, מסכות העיניים הנועדו לשנה במטוסים, כרגע מתפקדות כמסכות פנים.
I feel like God is looking at me and telling me, oh Noam, you thought you're going to be a big shot in America this year? Come, I'm taking you back home. I have other plans for you. היי אבא ואמא, מה נשמע? אל תתקרב אבא. Hello, this is Anna Frank from my shelter. זה החלון של אנה פרנק. הנה, אמא שלי הכינה לי פה מרק ממש ממש בריא, ויש כאן איזה סלט בריא, לא ברור מהו. וזה, ככה אנה פרנק אוכלת.
נועם.
כן?
מחפשים אותך מהמשטרה, בגלל שהם עושים בדיקות של מבודדים.
הנה אני.
בסדר גמור. ראיתי אותך.
תודה חמודים, תשמרו לנו על המדינה, תביאו לי סמים, אני משעמם לי. עלק בידוד. כל הציפורים מדברות איתי. רכלניות. I wonder how Palestinians survived all these years in closures and restrictions of movements. This is pretty hard. No.
מה אני רוצה להגיד לך? שאני מגיע עם חולת קורונה מאומצת שיחכו לי שם.
טוב, אז אני פה בהדסה, כי הבוקר קמתי ממש זוועה והתעלפתי והיו לי קשיי נשימה, אחרי שאתמול דווקא הרגשתי יותר טוב, ואני פה במחלקה חדשה בהדסה, שפתחו לחולי קורונה, וזהו, נקווה שאני לא אשאר פה הרבה זמן. אוקיי, הגעתי הרגע למלון בירושלים, ובמערכת הכריזה הזמינו אותנו לשיעור זומבה. מה? אני לא מבינה לאן נחתתי. הייתי לפני שנייה בבית חולים. כל האנשים פה בכושר כאילו הם לא חולים בקורונה. אני קפצתי 2 שניות ואני לא יכולה לנשום. I am in one of the only places where people are gathering, hugging, meeting each other, and have no restrictions inside the hotel. Don't worry, that's my stand-up song. Don't worry, أنا أوكي. I'm in a lobby right now of microcosm of everything. We have all the ages, all the genders, all the religious spectrum, everything. So what's happening here is the Jews are shocked and surprised by the Arabs. And they're asking me if I'm Arab because I'm singing and speaking in Arabic with the Palestinians. And they are so confused. And they're asking very basic preliminary questions to the Arabs. And she was saying, in what other case scenario would we be able to sit with the Arabs and meet them? We're all here under very unique circumstances, and we're getting the same food, we're getting, the same treatment, and the toxic identity issues and hatred and stuff that I'm used to seeing outside and that exists outside, it's just absent here. In a utopian future of a one-state solution that is not an apartheid state, that doesn't separate us and doesn't divide us into hierarchies, this is the closest I've seen. I don't want to sound like a cliche because obviously, the inequality and everything still exists, but I cannot find it here and I don't want to be looking under the ground to find it. אז קבלו את כל המספר
מפה במהרה בעזרת... אתם לא רוצים לצאת! אז רגע, תנו לי להבין מי פה כי הוא נדבק ומי פה כי הוא ליקק את הספסל בחוץ לנופש במלון בחינם.
אורחים יקרים, מתבצעת כרגע בדיקה לקופת חולים מאוחדת בחדר אלון.
וואי, הגעת לי לעין.
זה מראה שהבדיקה הייתה במקום הנכון.
התקשרתי, שמח לבשר לך שחזרו לך 2 תשובות שליליות של קורונה שעשית.
יש! תמיד ידעתי שאני שלילית, בן אדם שלילי. החלמתי! תהיו לי בריאים! אני מקווה שלא הדבקתם אותי בשני. ביי!
Anger and grief on the streets of occupied East Jerusalem as Iyad Halak was buried late on Sunday night.
32-year-old Iyad Halak was chased and killed in occupied East Jerusalem.
Iyad, who was autistic, was walking to his special needs school near the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound when he was confronted by Israeli security forces.
זה מקום מסריח המקום הזה. אני כאילו רואה את כל הסטנדאפיסטים בארצות הברית עם כל מה שקורה עם ההפגנות והם מפרסמים דברים, הם סלבריטאים, הם מוכרים כרטיסים, הם עושים כסף מסטנדאפ, אבל עכשיו רוצחים שחורים בארצות הברית אז הם מפרסמים באינסטגרם. ופה אני מסתכלת על הסטנדאפיסטים מסביבי, אפילו אנשי אומנות, אנשים מפורסמים, אף אחד לא אומר כלום. אף אחד לא אומר כלום.
Benjamin Netanyahu is promising to carry out the annexation of illegal Israeli settlements as well as large parts of the Jordan Valley.
Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has ramped up surveillance with virtually no oversight.
There's also been a lag of some weeks between testing facilities being set up in Jewish areas and in Palestinian ones.
Speaking up here is scarier because there is a bigger price to pay. But I'm not going to shrink myself.
הברך שחנקה את ג'ורג' פלויד, שבגללו יצאו לרחובות המונים בארצות הברית, זו אותה היד שלחצה על ההדק ורצחה את אייד במזרח ירושלים. לפני 4 שנים אני הייתי כאן בהפגנה בכיכר רבין. שוטרים סמויים היו בטוחים שאני ערבייה שמנסה לעשות פיגוע והתנפלו עליי והתחילו להרביץ לי. והאינסטינקט הראשוני שלי היה לפתוח את הפה ולצעוק, עזבו אותי, אני יהודייה. ולרגע אחד אני חוויתי מה זה עליונות יהודית, כאילו שאם הייתי ערבייה זה היה בסדר להרביץ לי ולהתנפל עליי, והסיפור הזה זה רק סיפור קטן על מה שאנחנו נלחמים.
די לעליונות, כן לשוויון, לא לאפליה, לא לגזענות.
אמנים מפילים חומות של אפרטייד, אמנים מדברים אמת כי הם לא פוליטיקאים מושחתים. אנחנו באנו להפיל חומות של אנשים שלא יכולים לנשום יותר בלי שוויון, בלי אחווה.